So did I ever tell you about the time I met Springsteen? Yeah, I actually met him. November 23rd, 2003, the Rising Tour, the American Airlines Arena in Miami. My wife had business in Miami, and when I found out Bruce was playing there, I suggested I buy some tickets, fly down, and we go to the show together. My wife's sister had a connection to Bruce's wife, Patti Scialfa. So as soon as she found out we were going to the show, she put a call in. Sure enough, Patti graciously offered us backstage passes to meet Bruce. So now it was set. I was finally going to get to meet Bruce, and I had an entire month to think about it. An entire month to think about all the things I'd ever wanted to say to him. This pretty much consumed my life until the show. You know, I thought maybe we'd, share a beer or something, have like one of those manly hugs. I could tell him about the time I waited in line all night to get tickets to the Giant Stadium show in '84. Or that my sister wanted to and still wants to marry him. And then we get into some heavier and more serious things. You know, I thought we'd talk about how darkness on the edge of town really helped me through a dark time of depression. And how Adam Rage to Cain, or reading Bruce interviews about his relationship with his dad, helped me with my relationship with my dad. Plus, we're both from New Jersey. I mean, in my mind, Bruce and I were already brothers, blood brothers even. Two individuals connected by a shared set of experiences. The only difference is that we didn't actually share those experiences. When the show finally arrived, I was psyched. The entire time, I was making mental notes about every song he played, every guitar lick he played, just adding them to my laundry list of things I was going to talk about when I finally got to meet him at the end of the show. Otherwise, great show. There were even special guests. Bono, Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics, even Dion of Dion and the Belmonts. So after the show, Patti's assistant came to greet us in our section. She then took us to another section. This was one of about a half a dozen holding areas before we were going to get to finally meet Bruce. When we're finally outside his dressing room, she gives us very specific instructions. She says, okay, we're going to walk in. Bruce is going to be waiting for you. And then you're to watch me. You know, you'll do your chatting, you'll greet, you'll say hello, and watch me. And when I make my way to the door, that's your signal to say your goodbyes. That's it. We walk in, and standing about a dozen feet in, there's Bruce. And to me, he looks like he's about 10 feet tall. But closer to us, who I wasn't expecting, was Bono, Dave Stewart, and Patti Scialfa. And I just say, somewhat awkwardly, I'm sure, oh, everybody's here. Patti got up and joined Bruce, and the assistant made the introduction. So first our connection comes up, and Bruce and Patti talk about that a little while, and then we're just chatting about I don't even know what, and I haven't said anything at this point because I can't think of anything to say. And then my wife brings up how nice it is to be playing in Miami in November, and all I can think about is, Christ, we're talking about the weather. And then Bruce asks us where we're from, and I think this is finally my chance to get into the Jersey thing. But my wife says we're from Nashville, totally screwing it up. So I finally get the nerve to speak, and I jump in and say, yeah, but I'm originally from New Jersey. Bruce grunts and he smiles and he says, yeah, so where in Jersey are you from? And I say, Jersey City. And he says, all right, and he smiles and he grunts again. And then I say, but my sister lives in Hazlet. Thinking this is a better talking point because it's a little closer to where he lives. And then he turns to Patti and says, yeah, that's right by us. And then I say, you're in, pausing as if I don't know what town he lives in, Rumson, right? He says, yeah, and I say, yeah, that's pretty close. And then I ask Bruce if Nashville is on the itinerary. And he turns to Patti and he says, yeah, I think it is. And I says, well, you know what? If you come to Nashville, you should come over to the house. I'll cook you up some eggplant. Eggplant. Yep, that's what I said, eggplant. Why I didn't say a good Italian meal or a good home-cooked meal, I have no idea. Why I even chose that vegetable instead of other vegetables. Eggplant. Bruce, he just smiled. He did that grunting thing again, like, yeah. And then I saw the assistant make her way to the door. And I knew it was over. That was it. No manly hug or anything, no bonding, we didn't have a beer. There was just a handshake and it was over. As we're making our way to the door, Bono jumps up. He had been listening to our conversation and found out we lived in Nashville. Well, it turned out that him and Ashley Judd were actually going to be in town on some kind of a bus tour. And he was really friendly, talking a lot, drinking wine, but all I can see is Patti's assistant at the door. So I literally cut Bono off and tell him we have to go. Who cuts off Bono? Outside the dressing room, I'm completely despondent. Eggplant. What was that? Eggplant. What was I thinking? I'm totally distraught over the whole thing, but Patty's assistant, she's great. She says, don't worry about it. When I first met Bruce, I didn't know what to say either. But eggplant? Did she invite him over for eggplant? I highly doubt it.